welcome back. So this is a quick tutorial as to working with the COG. So I had this one out earlier. I was still fighting a little bit of the tuning, and I've been having issues with getting the COG just right, which COG is center of gravity on how it wants to balance out. And so with hydroplanes, and this goes for EL19, Popeye, and all others, is usually about 1 inch to 2 inches or center point of your turn fin. So right now my current COG is another inch back, which causes the front end to be very flighty. I've tried to move batteries up forward, go with a heavier battery, add some extra weight into the canopy. I also added a little bit of weight down in here. So I'm still struggling getting that weight just right. So there's another method on this one, which you got to be a little bit careful. I've done it with the UL19. You could do it with other hydroplanes, some other boats as well. It's called pouring the tips. So very simple process. When I did the UL19, you can actually come in through the sponsons right here from the inside and basically pour a mixture of BBs and resin together up to a certain ounce or what you're trying to do, and do that. So what I've already done is I've taken some weight, put it onto the front nose, like right in the tip right here where I'm going to pour it, and try to simulate, get that weight, kind of figure out how much weight I needed. So basically it was about a total about 6 ounces I needed up forward. So each side I'm going to pour in some BBs and then plus a little bit of resin from there. So unfortunately, I wish I can come in through the sponsor right here, but this is just not going to allow me to. So this guy, another method to this madness is I drilled a hole right here. I drilled a hole right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to come in through the resin with their bulb, BBs as well, do the resin and do it that way. So, other circumstances come in from one side or a better access point. I'm just on this one here. Easiest way to say it, I'm just screwed. So you can see all the weight I've added to the bottom of the wing as well. I could add way more, but this is just the simpler solution. So over here, I've already weighed out ball bearings, weighted out everything kind of needed. I got the resin right here. I got the ball bearings. Pouring this, there's a few different techniques. All right, so what I'm going to use is a syringe. So that way I can just pour it into the syringe and then it looks like it's just going to be just enough. So you also want to weigh out your resin that you pour in too, because your resin adds weight too. So I weighed this, I weighed that, so equaling the amount I needed. So then I'm just gonna put this guy in here. There it goes. Pour it right through. And there's pockets and holes up in here. So I know all this will go in. And then drying, I'll leave this face down where the sponsons are pointing down to the ground to do this. So that's all the resin from there. BBs can be a little challenging, but they're the easiest method of doing this. So let's see if I can do this without messing it up. Be right back. All right, so we're trying a paper cone. Just took some paper, wrapped it, formed it to do something. All right, well, there's one side. We'll come back. Once I'm going to do the other side and we'll come back. All right, so now we're done. We got both of the pours done. BBs are in there up to the weight to what we think we need. And so, again, this is only if you really have to do it. In this case, I exhausted all efforts trying to move anything around without really modifying, tearing decking up and stuff like that. I don't want to go that far, so this is the easiest solution. So only added about maybe 6 ounces up to the front into the tips. So now it's all been poured. Now I'm gonna face it up and down, and then that's where it's gonna cure for tonight. And then if the resin comes up and over the holes, then I can plug it with a piece of tape. And I'm kind of hoping that's how I drilled them, kind of low. So I was hoping to maybe that's what will happen, so that way it make a nice bond. All right, so that's where it's gonna face. I'll come back, fill in the holes, simple, add a little bit of epoxy, thicken epoxy, and take care of that problem there. Anyway, so that's how you do a tip pour. It can be useful in some cases, but in this case here, you had to do what I gotta do. So anyways, stay tuned. Probably Thursday being the next one out. So after 24 hours of curing, with the kind of see the results where we're at right now. So when I drilled it just right to where the epoxy, when it filled up at an angle, came up and over the holes. I was able to put tape there, so then I was able to fill up the holes nicely. So I don't have to add any more epoxy, thicken epoxy or anything. So now at this point, it's under the boat. I can sand this down and then repaint it when the next available chance that I can get. So, from here, I'm just gonna let it cure for a while. Now with that extra added weight now here, I can adjust my strut and bring it back up, because before I had this running deeper to help control the front end and try to get the front end to come down a little bit more to kind of help, correct the COG kind of issue I was running into. And so now I can, bring the strut up, redo it, and I'm gonna retest on Thursday. So now you can see, I got my marks where, where it should be at, 2 inches behind the sponson. For this guy here, depending on where the fin is at, it's 1 to 2 inches or center point of the fin. So now at this point here, I should be able to pick it up. I'm pretty well close. I'm maybe a hair behind it, but that's not bad and what I wanted. So that way I could still not bad at all. I can play around with that, and so add a little bit more on the front with a couple weights, or just run it where it's at, kind of see what it does, and then make any more changes. So so that's how you kind of go about doing that. That's one modification. Unless you exhausted all efforts, you can do that. The only downside, once it's in there, it's in there. So, but one benefit, it does create a lot of strength up in here, and this is now pretty much all solid up in the front portion here. So a lot more strength on the tips here. So it's got some pros and cons. I'm not saying it's the best solution, the worst solution, but it is one solution to dealing with one problem and trying to get it kind of fixed up. Just knowing is for this guy here, how my layout, how everything is, I can't move anything more. Adding more weight up front with all the weights under the wing and stuff. The only other solution was going into the sponsons and adding that weight. And so anyways, hopefully you guys find this helpful, and thanks for watching.